Is everyone else joining soon? All right. So before we get started, I guess you guys are confused about some of the things. I should clear them up. First things first, since we are having online classes and the semester is half online, so I guess I cannot take any more quizzes, even though I wanted one more. That would have been better for me, but I guess I cannot because I do not trust you guys enough to take online quizzes. So the marks distribution would be you guys already had two quizzes. Those two will be there, and aside from that, there's one from this presentation which is happening right now, and also one from the assignment which I will be assigning soon. I guess everyone knows what it is, but I have not assigned it, so I will probably do it very soon. And you'll have a lot of time for those assignments, hopefully until the final exam ends. So a lot of time for that. So if you feel like you have missed one of the quizzes or presentations, or maybe you have not done well, then you can always take your chances with the assignment. So instead of five, which I have promised at the beginning of the semester, I guess I have to settle for four. Okay, that's one thing about the quizzes. Now about the actual final exam. Obviously, the topics which were taught before mid are included. I guess many of you guys have had the opportunity to take my class before, but even if you haven't, you have had the experience in the meet. So I will be giving you a suggestion which I will give you after I made the question. So if you follow the suggestion, it would be very helpful for you. But the main thing is there will be stuff from before mid, and there will also be a lot of things from after mid. The distribution I have not fixed yet, but you can expect two-thirds of the topics from after mid. Okay, so we will be focusing a little more from after mid topics. Now, I will be taking one class in the next week, preferably Thursday or Friday. I'll let you know, depending on the Hortal scenario. If there is any blockage on Thursday, then maybe I'll opt for a what do you call it, offline class on Friday. And if everything is okay on Thursday, then maybe we can go for a Thursday class. Let's see. I'll let you know, but we will definitely have a class next week where I will teach some of the topics which I deem necessary and not shown in the presentation. So I'll show you those things, or maybe I'll pick some of the topics from the presentation and I'll give you a revision on that. Let's see. And one more thing is that since you guys can understand that two-thirds of the questions will be from after mid, so two-thirds of the question will basically be from the presentations which happened, or maybe the classes that I've taken, maybe some before you guys started presenting. So those topics are very important. uh, so I will be uploading all of your presentations in the classroom in one post. Okay, so you guys can study those things. Those of you who the compilers or the leaders of the group, always keep an eye, because I'll assign you one individual assignment for that, which will be assigned only to you. Okay, so you make sure that you upload the slides when I give you the assignment, so that I can have those slides, make adjustments if necessary, and then upload it back to your classmates for their preparation in their final exams. Any questions so far? Everybody clear on what I've said so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I guess we can start with the presentation. Let's not prolong this class. Is there anything you want to say, you want to add before we actually go for the presentation?
I had one question.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Um, স্যার আমাদের যে স্লাইডস গুলো আমরা কম্পাইল করে আমরা প্রেজেন্টেশন
Mm-hmm.
দিচ্ছি এখান থেকে
Mm-hmm.
স্যার কোশ্চেনটা কি মানে স্লাইডের কন্টেন্টটা থেকে করা হবে নাকি স্যার
Uh, I cannot make any promises, but I will try to keep everything from the contents of the slides. Actually, I have seen your presentation, and in many cases, some of the topics, some of the presenters uh, have spent a lot of time telling the things instead of putting it in the slides, which is not a problem when you are actually presenting, because saying stuff is also all right. But whenever you're studying from slides, I guess when we as teachers make slides, we try to include the things in the slides, so that even if someone misses our class, then they can study from the slides. But I guess some of the people did not do that. So if I have the time, I will include those things. But if I do not, maybe some of the things will be needed for you to scour from the internet. The thing is that it's like, use your common sense. You can see a topic which is not described in the slide at all, so you can understand that in order to answer questions from the topic, you will need to search. Okay, but if the topic is already explained in the slide, then you do not need to go deep into the internet and search for uh, what do you call it, search for complex problems or search for advanced questions from the topic. Okay, if the basic knowledge of the topic is in the slide, then the question will be from the slide. But if nothing is given in the slide, just the topic is like mentioned, and then everything was said vocally by the presenter, then maybe I'll try to include some questions which are not from the slide. I guess this answers the question you were asking. Any more question regarding anything at all of the course?
স্যার আমার একটা কোশ্চেন
Yeah, sure, sure.
কোশ্চেন অ্যাকচুয়ালি বেসিক্যালি আমাদের মানে আমরা যখন কন্টেন্টস গুলো দিয়েছি স্লাইডসে আমরা সবাই এত বেশি করে দিচ্ছি তো দেখা গেছে যে সবগুলো স্লাইড যদি আমরা মানে এক করে অনেক বেশি হয়ে গেছে তো এখন আমরা যখন ফাইনালের জন্য প্রিপারেশন নিতে যাবো এটা আমাদের তো আই গেস ইমেন্স প্রেশার হয়ে যাবে এতগুলো স্লাইডস করা তো মানে যদি টপিকস কমেন্ট দেওয়া যেত বা সাজেশনস দেওয়া যেত তাহলে আই থিঙ্ক সবার জন্য হেল্পফুল হতো
Okay. Yeah, I have noticed what you have said. Each of the slides are 100 or more pages. But I guess this is because many of you have smaller topics and you had to include at least a reasonable number of pages. That's why the slide in volume has become larger. But I guess the contents are not that much. But still, I have some preparations regarding this. So I'll try to keep the suggestion to a minimum, so that if you read the suggestion, maybe the suggestion will be like 2 times the question size. Okay, if it is twice the question size and you read all those things, then you will get all the questions common, or maybe like 90%, 95% common. So that will be enough, I guess. I cannot make any promises again. I'll have to see after I make the questions how it stands. There is a trade-off which you actually have to balance, right? If the questions are made fairly easy, then the suggestions cannot be made so short, and like vice versa. Yeah, anything else? Okay, if there is, yeah, Shihab.
Yes, sir. So which side of the trade are we getting? Like easy questions or hard questions?
Yeah, I haven't made the questions, and depends on the mood when I make the questions, so I cannot really say now. Let's see. If the questions are made easy, then the suggestion will be a little broad so that you guys get to study a little more. And if the questions are made hard, then I'll try to keep the suggestions to a minimum so that you guys can study those topics more, what can I say, with more attention, and get a lot more from those topics. Uh, Use your common sense, I would say, because when the syllabus is large, definitely the question cannot be from very deep within, right? You guys are in your fourth year, so you guys get it. uh, that the questions, when it gets complicated, that's because the syllabus was small. Okay, let's not give away a lot of the surprises that awaits you guys. You can start the presentation. Hey Rafi, are you saying stuff?
No,
You
sir.
cannot. Okay, okay, you can start.
Sabah.
Slideshow on for.
Only two.
Oh, no slide.
Is the slide visible, sir?
Yeah, make it full screen and you can start.
Up. Up, up. Top left.
Just press the button on the bottom right, which shows the logo of the, I guess, presentation or something. Bottom right.
জুমের পাশের লোগোটা ক্লিক কর লুৎফুল
Zoomer পাশে. Bottom right. Yeah.
কোথায়
আরো
লোগোটা?
নিচে। Zoomer
জুম ওই যে
পাশে। হ্যাঁ,
স্ক্রোল
ওইখানে।
স্ক্রোলের হ্যাঁ পাশে
ডানে ডানে ডানে। হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ
এটা।
এইটা রাইট
এটা
না না হইলে এনেবল এডিটিং দে এনেবল এডিটিং
enable
দিয়ে
editing
তারপর
দিতে হবে, নাহলে কাজ করবে না। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
Relax. I'm not going to grade you for this. You can relax.
এখন আসছে?
তো স্ক্রিন শেয়ার অফ হয়ে গেছে
Yeah, I guess now you can press the button, the bottom right button, slideshow. Does it
I just
work?
pressed it, sir. It's not working, I think.
Okay, okay. Then you continue
Can
with
someone else share
this.
it?
I guess it's not necessary. It's still visible. So I guess you can start. This is still working fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Sabanushra, IT 227, and today our team will be discussing one of the very interesting topics of cryptography and network security domain, which is TLS SSL. Here is the glimpse of the next slide. Next slide, please.
Is Sabah, you done with your part?
Sorry.
Next slide. Next slide.
I am pressing the next button, but I think it's not working, sir.
Okay. So I guess now someone else
Maybe
has to
share
share.
Uh,
Maybe
আচ্ছা
the screen is frozen or something. Someone else share.
আচ্ছা আমি শেয়ার করবো
Please do.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
So here's the themes of the table of contents. Now the very first topic of today's contents will be discussed by my teammate Lutful.
Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Lutful Rafi ID 210, and along with my teammates, Sabah, can you keep on sharing the slide? Okay, so these are the topics that we will be covering. So at first, we will see what SSL is, how SSL works, its functionalities. It's not done. Okay, so yes. Okay, so let's see what SSL actually is. So SSL is short for Secure Socket Layer, a technology that encrypts communication between users and a website. So this encryption ensures that important data such as usernames, passwords, and credit card information is sent from the user to the site without the risk of interception. So SSL protocol is used when not done. Okay. uh, this protocol is used when someone browsing the web wants to, let's say, open a secure website. So their browser needs to first connect to a web server over the internet, which is actually very insecure. So without SSL encryption, the traffic exchange during any browsing session is vulnerable. And that is because any information that is sent from the web browser to the web server can fall in the hands of, let's say, eavesdroppers. And these eavesdroppers, they can not only see what you are doing online, but also intercept and manipulate it. So HTTPS sites ensure this doesn't happen. Next slide. Now let's see the history of SSL in short. So in 1994, SSL 1.0 was created. However, it was not officially released because it had several flaws and vulnerabilities. Then in 1995, SSL 2.0 was released. It introduced basic encryption for securing communications and also implemented basic session management for connections. This version also had some remaining issues, and that is it had several cryptographic weaknesses. For example, weak MAC construction, vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks, and it also didn't interoperate well with other protocols. To overcome these challenges, SSL 3.0 was released in the year 1996. It had an enhanced encryption algorithm to address vulnerabilities in SSL. To overcome, yeah. So later it was discovered that SSL 3.0 was vulnerable to the poodle attack, and after this, uh, where is it? After this, the first version of TLS came about in 1999, which we will be discussing later. Next slide, Saba. So how can I tell if my website uses SSL? So we can simply look at the no, previous slide, Saba. Yes, next slide. Yes, so we can see that there is a padlock icon. First of all, we can see that the URL and see whether it has HTTPS or not. The S in the HTTPS stands for secure. Then number two, here we can see that there's a padlock icon in the URL bar. So once we click on it, this small window will pop up, as you can see. So this window gives us some additional information on whether the connection is secure or not, and we can also click on this certificate to see if it is valid. And then next slide, Saba. We can also check if the certificate is valid. So often what happens is, even if a website has HTTPS and a padlock, the certificate could still be expired, and this makes the connection very insecure. So to find out whether the certificate is valid, in Chrome we can go to developer tools, and from there we will go to the security tab. And from there, as you can see, there is a button here called the view certificate. So by clicking on this button, we can see the company that issued the certificate and also the date up to which it's valid. Next slide, Saba. Now let us take a look at why SSL is important. Uh, which slide is this? How does SSL? Okay, so there are two fundamental concepts of SSL, and the first one is the asymmetric cryptography, and the second one is the symmetric cryptography. So in asymmetric cryptography, what happens is there are two sets of keys. The public key is used by the sender to encrypt the message, and then the private key, which is only available to the receiver, is used to decrypt the message. And SSL uses asymmetric cryptography to initiate the communication, which is known as the SSL handshake. Next slide, Saba. And in symmetric cryptography, we have the same pair of key which is used by both the sender and the receiver. So the sender uses the key first to encrypt the message, and the receiver decrypts it using the same key. And the actual layer transfer of SSL uses symmetric cryptography using the session key and after the initial handshake is done. Next slide. So now let's combine these two concepts that we've just seen. So in SSL communication, what happens is, at first the SSL handshake uses the asymmetric cryptography, which allows the browser to verify the web server. And then it basically establishes a secure connection before the beginning of the actual data transfer. And then what happens is the symmetric cryptography is used to basically send and receive the data to the web server. Next slide, Saba. Oh. Okay, so let's see the primary functions of SSL. So first of all, we have authentication and verification. So SSL certificates granted by certificate authorities contain information about the accuracy of the identity of the person or the company holding the issuance. So visitors can here check the website's identity to verify their ID simply by clicking the padlock symbol in the web browser that we've just mentioned before. And another functionality is data encryption. So which is basically the process of scrambling data to allow for the safe transfer through the internet. So while data is exchanged during an SSL protocol, information is encrypted so that a third party cannot access or read the data. And once a secure connection is established, all future web traffic between a web server and a web browser will be secure. Next slide, Saba. So now let us see why we should use SSL in our website. And from a previous discussion, we have learned that the main purpose of SSL is to keep data secure between servers, keeping it safe from the hands of attackers. So it provides secure connections to online banking transactions and logins, user logins, data transfer, and many other things. And besides these purposes that we've just learned, SSL also has other purposes, and we'll be looking at them now. So first of all, we have the Google factor, or SEO, search engine optimization. So SSL is part of Google's search ranking algorithm. So let's say that we have two websites which are very similar in the content provided, but only one of those websites has SSL enabled and the other one doesn't. So that first website will receive a slight rank boost because it's encrypted. And besides this, the landing page result of any site not holding an SSL certificate will be displayed to all the visitors as not secure. And due to this, it will automatically make the visitors reluctant to enter the insecure website. And next, it also protects user logins. So we know that the internet is filled with bots or hackers that are constantly on the look for poorly protected login forms. So if a website has SSL certificate, then it will basically protect any of the password protected pages. And lastly, it can also secure web forms. So websites that collect information such as name, address, phone number, and email addresses should apply SSL protocol because clients will not want the information to be leaked. So if anyone enters a website and sees that it has SSL, it will basically build and enhance the customer trust. And that was all from me. Thank you. And next part will be presented by Fakat. Yes, Chulu.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Farfad I213. Now I will explain the SSL position in OSI model. The OSI model is a conceptual framework that standardizes the function of a telecommunication or computer system. SSL is located between the application layer and transport layer. It is traditionally seen as a part of presentation layer. It provides a secure communication channel between applications, enabling the data exchange over a potentially insecure network. Now, what is the role of SSL layer? It done some important things like secure data transmission. SSL's primary role is establishing a secure communication channel between two applications. It ensures that data exchange between applications is encrypted, providing confidentiality. SSL facilitates the encryption and decryption of data, making it unreadable to unauthorized parties during transmission. It ensures that even if the data is intercepted, it remains confidential. Finally, SS supports the authentication of communication parties, ensuring that each party who they claim to be. This authentication helps prevent man in the middle attacks. Now, how they interact with other OSI layers. SSL interacts closely with transport layer, establishing a secure connection between protocols like TCP. SSL encapsulates the application layer data, secure TLS record before passing it to the transport layer. Doesn't directly interact with network layer but relies on the underlying network for data transmission. And SSL generate unaware of the specific of lower layers like data link layer or physical layer as it operates at a higher level of abstraction. Now coming to an important topic, SSL cipher suits. SSL cipher suit refers to a set of cryptographic algorithms used to secure network connections. It encompasses key exchange, encryption, and message authentication core algorithms. The combination of these algorithms determines the security parameters of the encrypted communication. In simpler terms, a cipher suit defines how two parties will securely exchange information. It includes details about the encryption algorithms used to keep data confidential, the key exchange mechanism for secure communication setup, and message authentication code for data integrity. So in the right side, we see the different parts of cipher suit. Now I will explain these key components of cipher suit. First, we have key exchange algorithm, which determines how cryptographic keys are exchanged between parties, ensuring a secure method for establishing a shared secret. The information exchange process requires a secure connection to send encrypted data or key shared between the client and server. Then comes authentication algorithm, which verifies the identity of communicating parties, ensuring the integrity of the SSL connection by authenticating digital certificates by servers. Then bulk data encryption algorithm governs the actual encryption and decryption of data, employing symmetric key algorithms like AES for confidentiality. Finally, the message authentication code algorithm provides a means of ensuring data integrity, verifying that the transmitted data has not altered during transmission. Now, what are the things that we should consider for security?